Psalm 126, and the theme is hope. And here's an amazing story that could be multiplied many times. A Jewish survivor from the Nazi death camps was asked if he sought revenge for the fact that his entire family had been killed. And he answered in the affirmative, yes, he did want revenge. And he offered to show the interviewer evidence of his revenge. And he took down a photograph album from the bookshelf behind him. And he opened it up and he said, here is my revenge. And he pointed to the pages of photographs, images of large groups of people. These are my children, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren. He said how many there were, but I can't remember how many it was, but it was many, many, many people. And I can recall when I heard the story, having tears in my eyes at the passion and nobility of the man and the form of revenge that he took. The hope of having lots of Jewish children after the most evil regime in the world had tried to destroy them was a hope that helped keep him going. Hope is the oxygen of the soul. Without it, we die. Hope is the theme of this psalm. Let's read the whole psalm, shall we? Psalm 126. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the nations, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Lord, like the streams in the Negev. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. These words are a powerful, beautiful, spiritual poetry and true for every single generation. So it's all about hope. The Jewish people will never, ever stop hoping in spite of the world's contempt and distrust. What is it that underlies the Torah, the tempestuous history of the Jews, the words of the prophets of Israel and the Songbook of Israel, the Psalms? Hope. Hope is what underlies them. And where is their hope centered? Jeremiah said, quote, Lord, you are the hope of Israel. They pray in this psalm that God will deliver them from captivity. You have to hope to even pray. Never give up praying. Never give up hoping. Abraham, the Ivri, came from the other side to bring mankind a dream and a hope. But the dream was dependent on his revelation of God that didn't go down well with the tribes he lived amongst. That didn't stop him dreaming. He was the friend of God. You can't get much better than that. He was an inveterate hoper. He lived with the hope of the world. Because of this, God even showed his friend, Abraham, an horror of great darkness that would envelop his descendants. But he was assured that God would judge their persecutors and they would come through the darkness with, quote, great substance, unquote. This, of course, was the Egyptian captivity first and foremost, but there would be many darknesses before they reached their destination, spanning 4,000 years after Abraham. There is the darkness of Jacob's trouble. Since God brought them through the first and lesser darkness, judged their enemies and blessed them with greater substance, they can expect the same outcome with the least and greater darkness. God will bring them through with great substance. They can deposit their hope right there. The Jews shall be sowing in tears, but they shall reap in joy. They shall go forth weeping, but shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, as the final verse says. God doesn't deny that there will be suffering and sorrow, but he also guarantees salvation after the sorrow. Great substance after immense loss. Let Israel hope in the Lord during the dark 7 years. The Messiah is at the gate, and their sorrows are the final birth pangs of his arrival. Israel knows this, and her national anthem is called The Hope, Hatikvah. Verse 1 is just so beautiful. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. They'll look at one another, as it were, and say, are we dreaming? Is this really happening? It's so easy for the heart to grow cold and for hope being deferred to make the heart sick. But Israel mustn't be one of those. Blessed are those who, when the Messiah comes, he finds watching, alert, expectant, hopeful. Hope is the very nature of God's Spirit. And who hopes for that which he already possesses? No one. We hope for that which we don't possess. That is why we are presently sowing in tears, because God is developing hope in us and in Israel and the church. He's purifying our hope. We have his promise that we shall reap in joy. And joy is his nature also. Hope and joy are radiant twins. You can't have one without the other. All glory to God. We may be weeping now, but we shall come again with rejoicing, bringing our sheaves with us, Jew and Christian together. That will be our revenge on the world. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem.